In the vast, sun-scorched emptiness of the Nevada desert lies a place shrouded in more mystery than perhaps any other on Earth, Area 51. For decades, it was a name whispered only in hushed tones, a symbol of government secrecy and rumored extraterrestrial encounters. Then, in 1989, a man named Bob Lazar stepped out of the shadows and into the spotlight, claiming to have worked within the very heart of this clandestine world. He presented a narrative so detailed, so technically specific, and so utterly fantastic that it permanently altered the public consciousness. Lazar's story was not just about strange lights in the sky. It was a detailed blueprint of recovered alien technology, a whistleblower's account that gave a name, a place, and a purpose to the government's most closely guarded secret. Robert Scott Lazar, born in Florida in 1959, described a childhood fascination with science and engineering, a passion that he claimed led him down a path of advanced education and classified work. He spoke of attending prestigious institutions like the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the California Institute of Technology. While his early life appears unremarkable on the surface, Lazar's account paints a picture of a young man with a unique aptitude for understanding complex systems. Central to Bob Lazar's testimony is a location even more secret than Area 51 itself, a facility he called Site 4, or S4. He said it sat miles south of the main Area 51 base at Groom Lake, nestled in the side of the Papoose Range. Not a conventional military base but a highly compartmentalized laboratory built to study and reverse engineer extraterrestrial spacecraft. S4, he claimed, had a series of 9 hangars built into the mountain, their camouflage doors blending with the desert. Access was tightly controlled, requiring multiple levels of security clearance and a complete surrender of personal identity while on site. Inside, Lazar said, the government stored at least 9 distinct flying discs of non-human origin. He described them as sleek, seamless constructions made of an unusual metallic composition. One he worked on was called the Sport Model, a saucer about 52 feet across. He walked around and inside it saw small, child-sized seats and an almost organic control interface. The hull seemed to be one piece with no visible welds, no bolts, no rivets, beyond our manufacturing. Lazar's job was to decipher propulsion behind silent hovering, impossible accelerations, and right-angle high-speed turns. The most specific and perhaps most famous scientific claim made by Bob Lazar revolves around a substance he called Element 115. This, he alleged, was the fuel source for the alien spacecraft housed at S4. According to his account, Element 115 was a super-heavy, stable element not found naturally on Earth. He claimed the government had a supply of it, recovered from the extraterrestrial vehicles. This element was the key to their entire propulsion system, serving as the catalyst for a reaction that provided immense power and the ability to generate gravity waves. His detailed explanation of its function gave a scientific-sounding basis to what would otherwise have been a purely speculative tale of alien technology. Lazar described a process in which a small, triangular piece of element 115 was bombarded with protons inside a reactor at the base of the craft. This bombardment, he explained, created element 116, which was immediately unstable and decayed, releasing antimatter. The subsequent annihilation with normal matter produced a tremendous and highly efficient energy output, used to power the craft's systems, and, most importantly, to amplify gravity waves. He claimed energy was channeled to 3 gravity amplifiers that could focus and direct gravity, much like a lens focuses light. By creating an intense gravitational field to distort space-time in front, the craft could travel vast distances with very little movement in the traditional sense. In 1989, televised interviews broke the story wide open. The story exploded in May 1989, thanks to televised interviews with Las Vegas investigative journalist George Knapp. Initially, Lazar appeared in silhouette, using the pseudonym Dennis, to protect his identity out of fear of reprisal. Speaking in a measured, calm voice, he laid out the foundational elements of his story: the secret base at S4, the reverse engineering of alien craft, the mysterious element 115. These broadcasts created a local sensation. Viewers were captivated by a detailed, seemingly credible account from an apparent insider. The decision to go public was risky. Lazar stated he and his friends had been threatened. He felt his life was in danger. He believed the only way to protect himself was mass exposure, and the interviews with Knapp were the vehicle for this strategy. The shadowy figure of Dennis, gravity amplifiers, alien politics. The segments drew huge ratings and sparked a firestorm of discussion. Later that year, he revealed his face and real name, solidifying his status as a whistleblower. No longer anonymous, he was open to both support and intense scrutiny. Knapp's credibility lent weight. The story spread through documentaries, magazines, and the burgeoning internet, cementing Lazar's place in ufology. Doubts and discrepancies soon began to surface. Despite the compelling nature of Bob Lazar's story, serious doubts and significant discrepancies began to emerge. Investigators and skeptics found a frustrating lack of evidence. Lazar claimed master's degrees. MIT, no record. Caltech, no record. Employment history proved difficult to confirm. He claimed to have worked at Los Alamos. His name appeared in a telephone directory, but there was no official record of him as a physicist. Critics argued these were fundamental holes in his credibility. The lack of official records is central to the debate. Defenders say his history was deliberately erased, a classic whistleblower's dilemma. Secrecy can deny programs and undermine credentials. Government policy is to neither confirm nor deny at classified sites. That policy creates a vacuum where belief and skepticism flourish. For some, absence of proof is evidence of a cover-up. Beyond his personal background, technical claims faced scrutiny. Physicists flagged problems with his gravity explanations, issues with nuclear physics and element properties. Experts said his terminology was used incorrectly. Skeptics suggest he learned jargon from popular magazines. These gaps led many to call it an elaborate hoax, noting narrative shifts over years. Some claimed corroborators denied his account. Others vanished. His 1990 pandering conviction, missing records, inaccuracies, and shifting details feed doubts. Years later, a new super-heavy element entered the picture. For more than a decade, Lazar's claim about element 115 remained theoretical, seemingly science fiction. In 2003, a Russian-American team synthesized a new super-heavy element. By bombarding americium-243 with calcium-48, they created 4 atoms of element 115. The element was officially recognized and, in 2016, named Moscovium. Supporters hailed it as vindication, a key piece of his story proven possible. But lab-made Moscovium is highly unstable, decaying in fractions of a second, unsuitable as a power source. Lazar described a stable, usable isotope available in kilograms that could power a reactor, a stark contrast. Mainstream science lacks evidence for such a stable isotope. Moscovium is a double-edged sword, existence confirmed, properties disputed. It lends a sliver of plausibility while underscoring a major scientific gap. For believers, a tantalizing hint. For skeptics, a coincidence and a failure of properties. Lazar's influence moved from fringe curiosity to mainstream discussion. The cultural impact of Bob Lazar's story cannot be overstated. He transformed Area 51 from a test site into the global epicenter of alien conspiracy theories. Before Lazar, the base was a footnote. After him, a household name tied to flying saucers, government cover-ups, extraterrestrial secrets. His detailed narrative fueled books, television, and blockbuster films. He inspired researchers and desert enthusiasts. People made pilgrimages to Area 51's borders. Grassroots pressure persisted. In 2013, after FOIA requests, the CIA finally acknowledged the base. Lazar remained a sometimes reluctant public figure and founded United Nuclear, selling scientific supplies and equipment. The 2018 documentary revived his story as UAPs entered mainstream discussion. To some, a heroic whistleblower. To others, a convincing fraud. His story sits in a gray area. Proof absent, belief personal. As official UAP videos and hearings emerge, his claims seem oddly prescient, forcing us to ask what lies behind national security, and inviting us to keep asking questions.